Well, today we're going to explore a favorite around here, Winter's Butterfly Artful Card Kit. Now, the Artful Card Kits have die cuts, papers, and some ideas on the back of them, but I'm going to show you some other ways that you can use them. In fact, here is one of my other ways. So you don't need to add much, but adding a few things just makes it even more fun. Won't you please come play with us? Now, Winter's Butterfly, as I said, is one of the Artful Card Kits, and let me just show you what's inside, although you can read it right here. There are 35 die cuts and 6 double-sided papers, and let me slip this off just to show you the papers. And this is just beautiful, don't you think? And on the back, there are snowflakes, blue snowflakes. We've got this one with some snowflakes at the edges. And on the back, this kind of orchid burgundy snowflakes on tan. Then we have white on tan. And more of just the, a lot of blue. This is a blue dot. Isn't that striking in the center? And then we have the, again, the burgundy. We've got the blue on tan, and then the back side we've got some dots, and this is another of the swirls and the butterflies, and then the darker blue snowflakes. So as you can see, snowflakes. And then the die cuts, the 35 of them are right here, as you can see. So long border, as well as there's 2 here, 2 here. And you can see. So a lot of them are birthday, thankful, winter wishes, 1 Christmas, actually 2 Christmas, happy holidays. So this is really just very good for lots of seasons, lots of reasons, as we like to say. And because on the packaging, you can see this vertical card with that beautiful paper that was used in the front. I decided for my first one, I would use that beautiful paper also, but I wanted to make a horizontal card. So I'll turn that over and we'll get in a little bit closer so you can see. Now the card is 6.5 by 5, which is our standard that we use. And you can tell that I've added some dazzles to it. As we get in closer, I'll show you what else I added to it. But did take that first sheet and simply trimmed it to fit on the card. So it is, this is 6.5, so this is probably 5.5 by probably a little bit less than 5 inches, as you can tell. I wanted to get this little butterfly in, and of course this beautiful one. Have those sprigs of pine showing also. So, and really, I couldn't resist doing something with these curves, especially these dotted curve. And so of course I chose the purple Jewel Dazzles, and the sheet has, like all of the Jewel Dazzles, has 540 pieces. You can see tiny, medium, and then larger. And the tiny ones just worked perfectly. They were spaced exactly as the art. That was just a very nice, happy accident. And I know that Lene loves to use the jewel picker, and I completely agree with her. It is a fabulous tool for attaching these little guys. I like to use the retractable penknife. This is the one where you push on the end to expose the blade. It is a tiny blade, very sharp, works very nicely. I tend to put my Jewel Dazzles on something that has a little bit of give, so onto a book or a mouse pad or something, and then I stab them. That's what I do. I don't want to do that here because I don't want to ruin our table, but I'll just kind of pretend it. So I've pierced that little guy, and then I can put him or her onto my card just like that, just that easily. So either tool is great and highly recommend them. I thought it was fun that when I went to decorate this, I found in many of the projects that I'm using the purple set of dazzles. Now this has 12 pieces, and it has borders, it has words, it has all kinds of things, all in this gorgeous purple shade. So just to let you see, that's what I've used. And I also put this in the Money Saver because I just thought if you're going to get this Artful Card Kit, this is going to be really helpful. So you can see that I use the border dazzles on each side, and then a narrower one at the bottom and the top, just to finish that. Now, the purple jewel dazzles are not in that collection, so you do have to do those separately, but you know, it's not expensive. The I Love You is also part of that collection. And when you are using dazzles, very often you'll have a little bit left. And I work on a craft mat, actually on my dining room table. I do that because my niece has taken over my studio, but so I'm doing this and I'm working away. So what I will do is when I have, and this is a good example because this is going to be 5 inches long, but the dazzles themselves are 9 inches. So I would put the extra on my craft mat. That way, if I need it later, I've got it right here. And then when I'm all done, I'll put any back on the sheet. But this little piece of the same border was a piece that was left off. So I just placed it here. That worked nicely. I was very happy that the I Love You is positioned so it really just flows from that arch of the art. And I just thought that was very nice. So recommend whatever message you put, that's where you put it, because that will work. Now, can we get in super close, Jeanette? Because the last thing I did with this cover, there you go, you can really see that. Now in person, it's much more visible, but I used the Glimmer Mist spray. This is from Hunky Dory. And I placed this, actually I placed it on some scrap paper, newspaper, because I'm still the kind that has an actual paper newspaper, and just sprayed it several times. Now I had the bottle up probably about 12 inches over my card, and I did spray it multiple times, and I'm very pleased with the look and the effect, and you can kind of see that glistening. There you go. Just looks really, really pretty, and it's all over the card. So that's what I did on the front. And then you push this button and it will retract the blade. So that way it's always safe. I'll move the craft mat just to get it out of the shot. On the inside, okay, so when I did this card, I cut it right about there, okay? So I had all of this left. So of course, I used part of that and I turned it this way to go on the inside of my card. Same deal with the dots. I put the jewel dazzles there and I placed them up above where there were more. See that snowflake? Then this is one of the die cuts. So, and there's the 2 sheets, so it's easy to find. So this circle, I like the idea of the circle, kind of going with the circles in the art. And the other thing that this came in handy is that when you're doing the dazzles, you don't have quite enough of these 2 strips to go all the way around. So it worked out really well to put this here and then do my dazzles. So that worked nicely. The Missing You is also from the purple collection, and that's another one of the little pieces from that border that I used on the front. And the inside, so I turned this like so, put it on that same scrap paper, newspaper, and sprayed it again. And you can see the gold is reflecting nicely. So it's a subtle, it's not an in-your-face kind of gold, but it is just lovely. Now, if I wanted bigger drops, I could have brought this closer and there would have been more splatters in that look. So that's what I did for my first card and why I did what I did. So let's go to the second card. Now this is a vertical, and I was really happy with this snowflake with the tan and how it went, of course, with the die cuts. So just beautiful. This is the border. There is a long border on that sheet. So I used that, but going back, taking a step back, Paulette, tell them what you did first, lady. Okay, so I took this sheet, and this is the tan. Now you get this in a couple of configurations. There's also tan with blue snowflakes, and then there's also some, if you will recall, that are darker, both in the burgundy orchid color as well as in the blue. So that's what I used. So I simply covered my card. Now I elected in these, let's see, 3 of the 5 cards I have to share with you, I elected to simply cover the card. I didn't allow any white border. I just felt that it wasn't as necessary this time, so that's what I did. So as I covered it with this paper, then I glued that border strip and just used part of it because it goes the whole 11 inches of the die cut piece. And then I took this one, which is 2 pieces, but I handled it as 1 piece, and I just glued that whole thing right there because I wanted that butterfly to show, and I love the tan color coordinating. Now, it would have been very easy to have done it without that piece and have put this on top, but this time I didn't. But what I did put on top, and I haven't done this before, is I put this beautiful purple border. This is probably the whitest one we have in the collection. And I put it on top of that border piece, which normally I would have put the dazzle under it. But this time I liked it being on top. It gets a little more presence in the project. The Happy Birthday is another die cut that I foam taped on top. And I definitely wanted to use the jewel butterfly dazzles. These are the acetate ones, and you get 32 of them. You get a sheet that you have the same sheet twice. You get 2 of them, and you can see all the colors. You've got blues, you've got purples, you've got pink, you've got teal, and you've got several different sizes, and you also have butterflies that are on the side. So that worked. And so what I did, and it's just super easy. They are die cut, so you just pop them off the sheet. And then I took a strip, about a 1-inch strip of our friend extra sticky tape, and applied it just under the body, okay? And if you take each of the wings, so these 2, and just fold it over and crease it, and then crease the other one like that, then when you attach this and remove that red liner, you will have the wings showing, being up. Now, this card has been in a sheet protector for about 2 weeks, and it's still nice and popping up. So I think that when I put in an envelope and mail it, it's still going to pop up, which is very nice. Now, I have to tell you that I struggled a bit, or played a bit, however you want to phrase it. It felt like a struggle at some times of what I wanted to do with the rest of it. So at this point, that's what the card looks like, okay? And I thought, okay, well, I could take more butterflies and I could do this. But it just felt like that was all about the butterflies, and I don't know, it just seemed to overwhelm the Happy Birthday. So I decided not to do that. And then I played a lot with the bow. Now, you're seeing the bow that I ended up using, but I messed around with a white bow because I thought, okay, the Happy Birthday's in white, so you could make a case for that. I did a blue one because, okay, well, it could be blue because that's blue. Well, that makes sense. I did a cream one, or an ivory one, but it just felt like it was a bit overpowering. And I also tried, you see, I really tried a lot of things. I also tried a purple one. And that would work. That would work, actually. It looks pretty good right there. And I also tried, see, I tried a bunch. I tried an ivory one with dots because, you know, there's just a lot of pattern. And I wasn't pleased with that. So I let it sit for a day. Oh, I also tried this one. I also tried a sheer one, which wasn't bad. Then I went back into the ivory and pulled out the 1/8 inch ribbon, held 2 pieces together. Now, when you tie a bow, you probably know, but it's going to take at least 8 inches to tie a bow. So don't give yourself 6 inches because it'll be a struggle. So I laid 2 pieces together and tied a bow and zawed it in place. And this way, what I felt is it didn't take away from anything. it supported it, which is really what you want the embellishments to do. So I was happy with that as a final. Then on the inside, I used another piece of paper that is the burgundy color. I think burgundy is what I used in the instructions. It's kind of an orchid, lavender, purplish color. I called it burgundy, so we'll go with that. And I trimmed it down, glued it inside, and then I used that same border, from the same border sheet, a smaller one, but really a decorative one going across because this was vertical. I wanted to do a horizontal. I think this oval is one of the die cuts. So I went back to the butterflies and did two that were on their side. They're, you're seeing the side of the butterfly. Did the same thing, adding it with the extra sticky tape. And then this is simply two links of the ribbon knotted and zotted in place right there. I kind of like that. I think that's a nice little thing. I'll have to remember that. So that is my second card and why I did it. Okay, we're going to go to the third one, and that is this one. Now this one, I think this is the first time I've done this, is that I used a series of the purple or of any dazzles, border dazzles on the sides. So I've got a narrow one, then a wider, and then two narrow, and then a narrow clear over here. And my focal is off center. But I did that because I wanted to have room to do this, okay? So this was covered with the same sheet that I used on the previous card, except I covered the whole card with it, okay? Now, this has got a couple of different of the die cuts. So I took this die cut, and I did play with turning it on point, but it extended past the card, which would mean it wouldn't fit in my envelopes. So while I liked that look, I didn't elect to go with it because it wouldn't work for you. So I did use that. And then we used this one on the previous card. So I used this one right here. And then the thanks is right here. But as you can see, it does not have the blue edge that everything else has. I'm just going to tell that, my nephew calling. Sorry, Jason, I can't talk to you right now. I'll call you back. Okay, so we have thanks. And I wanted it to mirror the edging that I had on all three of the others. So I did a little experiment. Well, yes, you'll see. Okay, so this is what I use for the ink pads. So I played with orchid, violet, and royal blue. There's orchid. These are the item numbers because I need those to write directions, so I use them on my sample sheet. So what I did is I put this piece on my craft mat, got out the royal blue and my blender brush, and inked the edge. And it was just so blue. It didn't match the others. So with a spark of something, I tried violet over it, and I was really pleased with it. I don't know if you can see, but it's blue on the edge, and then it's lightly purple on the inside, just a little bit. But it really matched that, and that pleased me. So I foam taped it just up and over. Again, I wanted to break out of the confines of the frame because, that's what I do. Then I used the same 1/8 inch as I did on the other card, so did that. Then I also went back to the butterflies, and I chose, this is actually a purple one. It looks a little blue there, doesn't it? But it's actually purple. And you see the glitter under it. That is so easy to do, okay? It is our clear glitter sheets, and it comes in a package like this. My friends in Holland call it glitter foil, but we call it clear glitter sheets. You get, I think, 5 of them in there. So all you do is lift up the glitter. It's attached to the acetate so that what you get is this. And place it on the back of your butterfly, like so. Now this butterfly I already folded the butterfly wings in, but I'll just do it like this. Okay, so what you have now is the adhesive facing you, but it's on the back of the butterfly. Then all you do is take your scissors, which I happen to have right here, and simply cut the acetate right along the butterfly. Don't worry about getting right next to the art. You don't need to do that. It doesn't make any difference because it's going to disappear. So you simply do this all the way around it. I know watching someone cut something is not the most exciting thing in the world, but here we go. So I think I did a little better job when I wasn't hurrying. So anyway, I'm just going to stop right now and fold it on each side of the body, put the extra sticky tape and attach it right there. And that's all it took. And you will just find many ways to use that. So I think it worked very nicely. For the inside of my card, I took another strip and placed it here. I kept the vertical, even though I had a lot of verticals on the front, but it just worked fine. And it is also offset. The Thankful for You, because I didn't have any others that were colored on the edges, I didn't need to do that again. I did do the exact same thing with the butterfly, however, so far as the glitter behind it. And you can see the purple border dazzles on each side. I do like leaving that white space between the paper and the dazzle. I thought that worked nicely too. So that is card number 3. Okay, 2 more to go. Card number 4. Okay, I have to confess, I couldn't resist doing the same technique. Okay, so that's why I did a 5th card. This is using this paper, and the only thing that is just something to be aware of is where you want to place. If you want this big circle in the center of your card, or where you want it. I wanted to get as many butterflies as I could. By the way, the thing that was said when we designed these was that butterflies are winter's, what was it? Something about butterflies and snowflakes. Butterflies are winter snowflakes, something like that. Okay, if anybody remembers, put it in the comments and tell me. But anyway, so I just trimmed that to fit. First cut right here, and then attach this to my card. You'll notice I did finally do a white edge on this one and on the next one, so that made it easier. Now this time I went with blue because the bits of blue are what intrigued me. So did the same thing with my jewel dazzles. These are the blue sparkly ones. And then I did the same thing also with using the blue border, and these are placed right on the paper with the straight edge against the edge of the paper and the decorative edge facing into the artwork. So that did it. Now the 2 pieces of the die cuts, okay, here we are. We've got this and we've got the hello. And although they're close to each other on the sheet, I thought it was fun to put them on top of each other. So this piece is flat, this is foam taped. I had a little bit of this left over because it was sitting on my craft mat, and I put it on each side of the hello just to add that sparkle. This is out of the ivory, so you can see that ivory ribbon just worked beautifully. Actually, I think I used it on almost every single card. This, of course, is the sheer dotted. And that's what I like about the ribbon packs, is you get a lot of different kinds of ribbon in that same color palette. So that just worked nicely. So easy peasy on the front. Also, same thing, followed that around using the tiniest ones. It just works really nicely. On the inside, now this is the same sheet of paper, but it is a part that I did not use, and it's the part up here. So I cut that, glued it into my card, put the more of the blue dazzles, border dazzles around it, sending you blessings. Now this is a double layer, so we've got the frame and then we've got the circle. So the frame I glued down, and then I foam taped the sending you blessings and added another of the sheer dotted ribbon. So what I like about this is that it gives you something there, but it doesn't overpower anything. And it's just a nice complimentary addition. Okay, one more. And I've never done 5 cards, but this time I made an exception. So here we go. And this is using our Shutter card die. Now this is a brand new die set that is so easy to use and so versatile. So I just really, this was perfect to use. So you follow the instructions on the back of the package, and what you'll do is the die is one piece, and the die creates the shutter, but you also need the card itself. So the step 1 is to take your card, and this is the fold on the card, and you trim a 1/2 inch and make a flap and put extra sticky tape on it, and then you attach it to the shutter. Now the shutter I did out of this paper. This is the tan with blue. Now this is paper, it is not cardstock. So, okay, there it is folded, and there it is open, and there is the shutter. So it goes like that. And I decided that we needed to have one Christmas card. Now that is, I'm pleased with it, and I think it's great for a Christmas card. If you wanted to, you could put this on a heavier cardstock and then die cut it. You just want to make sure that that center area, well, I guess it would work. It would work just the way it is. Okay, so let me go back to after you've cut everything out. So I went back to my piece that I used earlier, this one that was used on the second card, and cut a piece that would be smaller. Now this card is 4 by 5 3/4, so it's going to fit in our regular envelopes. But because it is narrower, I could let something kind of explode out of it. Now this thinking of you and the frame is one piece in the die cuts, so that worked. But going back to my piece here, the measurements are down below in the instructions. So you have in the die cuts 2 of these frames, and I used both of them. So I used the first one earlier, and remember I left the inside. So this is the second one. And I decided to, again, I've never done this before, but I just took a little bit of this sheer ribbon and knotted it around 2 of the corners, just because I thought that was cute. Okay, just sitting and playing with the ribbon, that ivory ribbon. You know what? I didn't tell you what I used. I'm so sorry. So with this paper, trimmed it down smaller than the card. Then I used the orchid ink and my blender brush to ink the edges, and I do like that. I think the orchid was perfect, and I could have done that on this card earlier, but I didn't see it then, so this works fine. Okay, now then I pulled this out, did the ribbon, and it's just knotted. It's just simply knotted, no big deal. Glued it down, foam taped this in place, and then not very long ago, in fact, very recently, we just did the snowflakes. We've got them in a single sheet in white and blue and teal. So these are the white ones. I do the same thing. I use my penknife to lift them and then place them. It's like almost a third hand for me. So that took care of my card front. Then on the inside, okay, so I have my shutter over here. See my shutter? But I ended up because I had the paper, I covered the inside. And I like the way that this looks like, you know, it's one long piece, although of course it's two pieces. So here's the inside, and then here's my shutter. And I did use the blue border dazzles that I used on the previous card on all the vertical areas, including each side of the shutter. So that worked well. Okay, then let me open this up this way just so that you can see. There we go. Okay, so this is the back side. This blue dot with some snowflakes is the back side of this paper, obviously. And so what I did, because this was blue, I used this piece and just glued it right in the center of that shutter. And then Happy Holidays I offset because I could see where it would be really showing in the card. And I thought it did a good job of saying a Christmas, and I added more snowflakes. Then on the back side of it, this was interesting. This, where are you? This whole piece, Wishing You Merry Christmas, okay, is actually inside this frame. Remember, I used that frame earlier. So this blue piece perfectly fit on the shutter. Now, you do need to get it on straight. So if you don't quite get it on straight, you can trim it, no problem. So I glued that to the shutter. I thought it was great that it fit. And then I foam taped the center. But it looks a little plain, but when I added those snowflakes, it just popped. And then also a knotted of that sheer, 2 lengths of the sheer ribbon just knotted, zotted that right there. And so then I have my Christmas card. And with this shutter cutting die, these are pretty quick to make, surprisingly quick to make. You just need to have paper that will work with 2 things, which when you buy an Artful card kit or any collection, that's going to happen. So there you go. That's it. I had 5 cards all for you. And they are all from the Winter's Butterfly Artful card kit. Now, in the Money Saver, I did add the purple set as well as cards and envelopes because you need that. And something else, I'm not sure what, but you'll see it on the Money Saver. So that will just work really, really well. It's been very fun to take another look at the Artful card kits. They've been perennial favorites for us, for our customers, and it's really nice to give you more ideas. But don't forget, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 additional ideas. The 5 I've just shown you. So hopefully that will be a nice to really jumpstart your creativity, which is what we always want to do. What I'm struggling to do here is to get this showing that beautiful paper on the front so that you have a final look at it. So there we go. Okay, tell me what you think. I hope you like the projects. There is a Money Saver, as I said, over on the right-hand side of your screen. And you can see what wonderful things you can do with this collection for Christmas and for any time. And if you're watching us on YouTube, like us, subscribe, head on over to paperwishes.com. That's the only place that you can buy this, as many of our things are exclusive to us. And we always enjoy giving you ideas of how to use the product that we offer to you. So that works nicely. And as I have said, all of the instructions for all 5 cards are down below. Just click on them, you'll see. There's also a listing of all of the products that I've used, and so that takes care of that. Okay, well, thank you for joining me. Let me know in the comments what you think. I'd love to hear it. And hi to, I'm now hearing from several of you that you start your day with a webisode. So that's delightful to hear. So don't spill your coffee on the paper and have a good day. Thank you so much. And thank you for being part of our Paper Wishes family. We'll see you again.